What's up, Wake Up family? Today we are joined by actor and former political strategist, Mr. Greg Mathis Jr. is in the building.
Hey.
Come on. How you feeling today?
I feel good.
How's your mental health?
My mental health is better. It's at its good point right now.
Good point. Okay.
And I mean, look where I am right now. I left this location out there.
Well, thank you for
We're on the
taking
beach in Malibu right now. It's beautiful.
sunny skies.
Flex.
You hear those ocean waves? I don't know if the mic is picking up.
No, we gotta take a mic out there. For that. Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about homophobia and the LGBTQ plus community as it pertains to men of color. And I want you to talk to us about your journey, but also why do you feel that it's a stigma in the black community? Or do you believe that it's stigmatized in the black community? Black men in particular.
I will say this. I have gotten away from just pointing at the black community and making this a black issue because I think that there's homophobia in every community.
Yes.
And even though we see it more because we're black and we see it more in our community, I don't know that, it's just limited to us. You got people like my father who has loved me and supported me ever since he found out that I was gay. And I think that's why we do so much work to try and make that a thing and make it and normalize it more. But I will say, the homophobia that does exist within the black community is, from my experience growing up, I hate to always blame them, but a lot of it is rooted in our upbringing in the church. I think for a long time, rightfully so, the church is the linchpin of our community. I mean, that's where we go to socialize oftentimes. That's where we get a lot of our morals from. And for a long time, they were on the front lines of making sure black folks got their rights. They led the civil rights movement. They were on the front line of a lot of those movements and really the kind of leadership for our community. And I know growing up as a young black gay kid, not open for a long time, going to church every Sunday, hearing what the preacher would say about my home, about people who were gay. It wasn't accepting. And so that can really, when you think about mental health, shame is one of the most powerful emotions to deal with when you're shamed for something. That's kind of from what I've read and learned across the board when it comes to mental health.
Were you afraid because you were in the church as a kid to come out to your parents, or did you think they would disown you? Like, what were your thoughts?
No. So I actually was very fortunate and blessed with a family who I knew would never really judge me for that. My Uncle Steve, who's passed away now, my dad's brother, is was his best friend.
Okay.
And my Uncle Steve was always the life of the party. I wish he was here today. I mean, he was into house. He was, and so he lived a very vibrant life. And really, my dad grew up around that. And so my dad, he has gay friends. If you watch his show, he talks a lot about, when gay people are on his show, he's able to go back and forth with some of the lingo and have fun. Like, he knows all these terms that he thinks make him so cool. And so that was never a concern for me from that standpoint, but it was more just the fear of the shame that I would bring on my family and the fact of what I knew society would say and our community would say. Just growing up and seeing kids at a young age teasing people who they thought were gay or thought were even feminine. And me being, not the most masculine man growing up, I think people would look at me and think things and wonder things. And so there was this fear of how that would bring shame or like judgment upon my family, particularly because even before he had his TV show, my dad was still a well-known, political figure in Detroit, a judge. And so it was like, okay, I just wanted to kind of stay out of the spotlight and not have any extra attention placed on us.
Speaking of shame, Greg, which either parent figure or which, support person, we'll put it on an individual person, was it more challenging or shameful to let them know your truth?
Ooh. I don't know that I have an individual person, but it was the most difficult for me to tell my straight male friends. because these were people who I had grown up with, gone to elementary school, middle school with, high school, and had all these experiences with. And then I'm thinking like, well, crap, are they going to think that I've been looking at them sideways the whole time or interested in them? Are they going to question every single experience we've ever had together? Because this is a huge part of me that I've now kept from them and, you know, tucked away and not really been honest with them about. So that was like a big fear of mine, is just how my straight male friends in particular would receive me. And even like I'm gay, but I was still messing around.
Wait, so there's a limit? Are you telling us there's a limit, or like there's a bracket?
Will you expound on that?
I will, because you know some of us can go, you know, they can go both ways, or they can be bisexual, or just somewhere different on that spectrum. I'm not. I like men, but there was a period of my life where I was still messing around, playing around with women. You know, couldn't do too much, but just kind of trying to keep up an image and a persona of trying to hide away who I really was, and so. Those were the people I think that I was most afraid to just like rip off the Band-Aid and have to have those conversations with, of like, wait, so when you were pretending to be my boyfriend, like what happened? I even had one woman say to me that I dated in high school, she was like, for a long time, I thought that I was the one that turned you gay. And I had to live with that for years, and it really messed me up. Yeah. And I was just like, damn.
When, to expand on that, if you don't mind elaborating, when you told your friends, how did they receive it? I'm actually very curious about that.
It was different. I had one friend. I had one friend in high school that, you know, we're still friends to this day. We've gotten over this, but he tried to get me kicked. We had a group chat with like 10 of us, 10 of the guys in our high school class, and he tried to get me kicked out of the group chat. I heard through another friend, they were like, I just want to let you know, so-and-so came to us and was like, we should take him out of the group chat now that he's gay, because, you know, he's not really one of the guys anymore. Wow. I'm just like, this was somebody who I thought I had a good relationship with, and this was never, it was nothing he ever said to me personally. And so, what was the question?
That's wild. You know what? You
sorry that happened.
I apologize that happened to you too. And I say I apologize. I'm not sorry it happened, because those entities and those moments still taught you the power. In your truth. If you have the power and the will to be whomever you truly are, just be. And those same folks who, whatever their intentions were in your circle, in your friendship, they were revealed. And although because I'm speaking from also personal experience, when it wasn't, to me, it wasn't a coming out thing. I dated women. And unfortunately, I was like, well, I got bored.
Wait, you got bored?
I got bored.
So you were a little bit over on the spectrum than me then. You just got a little
I'm not even sure. But, all right, so at first it was like, all right, this is great. I got a girlfriend, whatever's going on. I'm riding my dirt bike. I'm having a great time. I'm popping wheelies, living a life. But I was realizing that the reason I said unfortunately was because there was a point that I realized I'm living through the eyes and the actions of my brothers. Yeah. And whatever my cousins are telling me or talking about and showing me, whatever they're showing me, I'm living in those instances, but I felt out of place, which is why I said, unfortunately, I was out of place. And I was like, well, could it have been in my young mind, I'm out of place because I'm not sexually or mentally mature enough to handle the capacity of this conversation? And you're my brother. You don't give a damn. You're like, hey, yo, you my little brother. Come on, whatever. We fuck bitches. We partied.
Get money.
I'm like, yo, I don't want to see them videos or... I don't, like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know? But you're my brother, so I'm like, you ain't gonna lead me astray, right? Yeah. You're like, I don't give a damn. You gonna look at this. And I'm like, okay, cool. As I continue to progress and I continue to grow and learn, like, you know what? This feels different, and this experience, I want to see what other experiences are like. So that takes you to a portion of curiosity. And it was like, okay, now I found what feels right to me. That's my truth. And when I had those straight friends in high school, when even though I was figuring out my truth, I didn't date anybody. Like, I quietly stayed to myself. I knew, okay, you know what? I'm a songwriter. I'm going to write my music. People going to come over. They're going to make beats. No, I'm not looking at you, boy or girl. I am locked in because there are things I need to figure out with me. And people didn't understand that. And it would be like you have the straight friends who caught wind or knew, or you told somebody like, I'm having curious thoughts. And it's like, oh, I'm going to demonize you. My brother in high school was my strongest advocate, and he did not truly even know. It was like I was still figuring it out. And for people to ask him, is your brother gay? Mm-hmm. He's like, no. And I'm like, well, okay. He said no for me, but... But he's no nonsense, right? He's no nonsense. He's like, no, he's not. And I'm like, yo, that was great of you to do that, even though I was still figuring me out. And those same people who were my friends were like, well, we don't want to be around him. So my brother would go to bat for these people. And I'm like, no, they're cool. They're my friends. He's like, they're not your friends. They said this about you. Are you aware of this was said about you? And I'm like, wow. So it's that circle. Mm-hmm. So for me, when it came to telling my family and letting them know, it was no like coming out thing like, hey, y'all, come here, come together. The thing I see on TV, hey, y'all, come in this room. Come on, we finna talk. We finna have a conversation. It was like one day a guy popped up. It's my friend. Okay, and what? And the way my family has been structured, it's like, it's not do whatever you want, but it's, I'll give you the freedom of choice. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Yeah. And growing up in that manner, of course, the gentleman didn't come home when I was living with my parents, because that would have been a different discussion. But it was just like, all right, cool. The last person that I had that conversation with, and I waited because I was like, my Lord, I want to make sure that I am honoring my parents. I'm doing what they're asking me to do and of me, but I also want to make sure that I am true to myself. So the last person I told was my father. And he asked me, oh, wait, years. Your parents know. Like, your inner circle, your people know.
Yeah,
like,
my parents knew.
Yeah. Y'all know. Come on, like, y'all know. And it'd just be like, he asked me, and my father was like, are you that way? And I knew what he meant. But because he didn't say it, I was like, there are I will say on a hand, there are maybe 2 times that I've ever lied to my father. And that was the one time I lied. The other time was I was cutting school because I wanted to go, I wanted to go play video games, and they kept having substitute teachers in school. And he was like, you went to school? Yeah, I went to school. Well, the teacher right here. And they said they ain't seeing you. And I'm like, well, I guess I wasn't at school. And I got whooped.
Keith, I want to interject and ask, do you believe, I noticed that you said, your dad said, well, are you that way? Do you believe that he felt ashamed to just come out and say, are you gay? Do you like men? Do you feel like it had more so to do with him than it did you? Like, because I noticed that you said that he didn't say, are you gay, but are you that way?
My father is a tactful man. So depending on the verbiage, he watches what he says. And not to offend, I believe, is why he asked, are you that way? Not, are you gay? Because if you ask somebody, you ask a stranger even, we could do a stranger. You ask, are you gay? You see how that was? Like, are you gay?
They're going to look at you.
Are you gay? Are you gay?
But
if it's my father, he's like, are you gay? If I'm still figuring me out, and as my father is watching or listening or learning or experiencing this thing with me, but, indirectly, for him to ask me that way, my father knows how to talk to me. He knows how to reach me. And I, vice versa, know how to reach him. Okay. It's very no nonsense. But for him to say it in that manner, it wasn't disrespectful. I didn't take it no type of way. It went in the ear. It stayed in the brain, jiggled around. But I lied because at that moment, I was still figuring me out. And in that moment, I was like, you know what? This could be the ideal time to be like, Father, I am not sure. But because my mouth disobeyed what it was supposed to be doing and said no, I said, ooh, I already said it.
When did you, and this is a question for both you, Greg, and Keith. I want to start with you first, Greg. When did you know that you were gay? Like, have you known your whole life?
Yes. I knew when I was maybe 4 or 5 on the playground when my brother was chasing around these little girls, and I'm like, well, I kind of like the little boys a little bit more.
So it was no doubt in your
mind. It was no doubt, and it was tough because I was at that age and I was in that community where I was trying to pray it away. You know, I was literally pray every single night at one point not to be gay from a young age, because I knew I was not supposed to be gay. I knew I was not supposed to like boys. And it got to the point where I would, this is a little graphic, but I would try and watch like girl on girl stuff just to be like, I'm not watching no men. Once I got to the age where I was doing that type of stuff, because I was literally trying to train myself and see if I could train myself to not like men. And it ain't work. That's why for people to say it's a choice or want to say you need to like it ain't that way.
So you thought at the time, you said to watch girl on girl action, you could have been going through a phase. Like, maybe I'm going through a little something where I think I like men.
It ain't work.
It didn't work.
It ain't work.
Didn't this man just tell you, even the two women, even the two women
couldn't do it.
Now,
I tried it.
Right. A lot of the heterosexual
I
gentlemen.
tried it all.
It did nothing.
That's wild.
I prayed. I tried to pray it away. I tried to
my dream.
condition myself away from it because of the pressure that was on me from society. And I am who I am. And that's why, you know, I am so adamant about making sure that other people who are younger than me can embrace that side of them and not have to go through that shame and trauma of trying to be somebody else, because it's not healthy.
Okay. And Keith, I also want to ask you the same question. Have you always known?
No, I haven't watched girl on girl porn. What else would you like to know, AP?
You're missing out.
Well, I may have to tune in then.
Maybe.
Go ahead.
How long have you known? Have you known your entire life? Is it something that developed over time, or
it developed? For me, I didn't recognize it. Okay. I was always like existing, just be. You give me dinosaur toys when I was younger. You give me a lot of dirt. I'm gone. I care about nothing else but whatever mission is created in my mind. This is happening. Jurassic Park is happening right now. When it came to anything like looking at people, I didn't start to even, I looked at girls first because it was pushed in my face. I didn't receive an opportunity personally to figure out, okay, it didn't cross my mind at all. It was like, okay, well, guys like girls, girls like guys, whatever. Never even thought about it. Never really had a feeling to be like, you know what, I kind of like that more than that. Until I got older, because it was pushed in my face and because it was like shoved down my throat. Like all these actions from other people were placed in front of me before I had a chance to say, what are my thoughts on that? You served me sex. You served me this, but I actually didn't order any of that. I didn't really think about any of that. So to me, it's developed. I've had time to incubate and say, you know what? I feel this with this person. I've dated this person. This is what this person or gender, we can say gender, this is what this gender made me feel like. I'll attempt this gender. Oh, this gender made me feel like this. But, maybe we're switching back and forth. But then it was just like, well, no, my truth is here. This is where I feel, since we're feeling, this is where I feel the most of an asset, the most quality. This is where I feel I can even say the most rewarding. Is this is who I am. So either take it or leave it. I am here to stay. This is my truth.
So,
sorry to interject.
No.
But I actually do have a very curious question, and it's one that I'm just looking for more of like an enlightenment on you guys' point of view. I say it often. I'm a Sierra Leonean American. I'm from West Africa. I grew up in the suburbs, so my viewpoint of life is going to be a lot more different in terms of you guys said that like the community itself, like the way I see the community is in Sierra Leone, like, and if I'm wrong, people put it in the comments. We were very accepting. We don't care if you like women or men. We just we're very open. Also, a lot of the brothers and sisters around me that's in the DMV area or the DC area were very open in terms of like they were very friendly. They didn't care. They're like, all right, bet you're gay, cool, whatever. Do you? Do me, just don't be an asshole. Like I could care less. You want to do anything, you can do anything. But that's my point of view. That's my viewpoint. So in terms of a lot of people that doesn't see things in your eye or in your point of view, that's why I say I'm looking for more enlightenment to tell me what was the experience like, because I will never know what that experience is like. So how was it in terms of like the Black community itself, or all of you guys around Africans too, around African community, because in certain African places it's very taboo. I know in certain places there used to be death penalty and all that. It's just like, again, the country I'm from, it's not like, you know what I mean? So I haven't seen that. So to me, like, hearing you guys, it's just like, is the experience like in terms of how does it feel? Because I can't feel it. So when you guys are saying it, it's like, really? It's like that? I have never seen that. So could you like elaborate to people out there who have like the same mindset and be like, how is it like? He's one of my closest friends, but at the same time,
I don't know.
it's not. He's lying. It's a guy. It's a lie. Okay? It's a lie. But like, honestly, just elaborate.
Yeah.
Let everybody know, because, you know, I really want to like know and stuff like that.
I mean, first, let me just say, I love that you said that, because that is enlightening for me to hear that, you know, this West African community that a lot of times people will point to African nations and say bad, you know, they're so homophobic. I love to hear that it's not that way. That's enlightening for me just to start with. But, you know, I actually have a little bit of a different perspective, or multiple perspectives, because up until age maybe like 10 or 11, what was that, 6th grade, I grew up, before that, I was in Detroit public schools, grew up in the inner city. My parents were able to, you know, work hard and come up with some means, and then they moved us out to the suburbs into majority white schools from like 6th grade up. And I did notice that when I was in Detroit public schools and the majority black, you know, inner city school, it was that the majority of us were churchgoers. We grew up in the church. Our family raised us that way. And it was just a different atmosphere and don't get me wrong, I still go to church today. I have learned a different version of Christianity than the one I maybe grew up with. But, you know, that was, it was a big deal is what I remember and within the black community, it was a big deal. And, you know, I hate to make it seem like the white community is so much different, or the non-black community is so much different, but it did feel different when I transitioned to a suburban school district where there wasn't as much focus on like who I was or what I was doing. And honestly, I could coast a little bit under the radar and not have to worry about it as much.
Sorry.
My bad.
Would you say, my bad about that. Would you say it's more so about class? Because you said when you went to like more like upper or suburban area, it was, would you say class, it comes more in terms of openness? Yeah. And people, you know what I mean? Like people, I don't really care. So.
It could be. I haven't really thought about that, but I do think about the fact of how just when you look at society and the way things happen throughout history, it always falls on people of lower socioeconomic classes of where they are pit against each other. Okay. You know, we see it in America here today, I think, when you look at our black and brown communities, when we have so much of a shared interest, but at the same time, there's such a effort, I'll say, to separate us or pull us apart so that we feel like we have to fight each other, as opposed to being able to be like, look, we're the same. We need to be on the same page about these things. So I do think there is something to be said along those realms.
Okay. I got a question for you. What are some things, Greg, that you do that pull the community together personally? Like, what are some things that you do? It can be church, it can be anything. But what are some things that you do that truly bring the community that you know as it is now together? You know,
I'll be honest, I'm still finding that.
Oh yeah, be honest.
To Los Angeles.
Okay.
When I was in DC, my community looked a lot different, and I miss it. I lived in DC for 10 years before I moved out here.
Are you excited about DC?
Absolutely. It's the greatest city of all.
It's the greatest city of all. I love DC.
DMV. Here we go.
Stand up.
Here we go.
DMV.
I love LA too, but DC is
greatest city of all time.
I had a good decade.
There's a reason why it's the only city called Chocolate City. All right?
And that was really my saving grace, because even though I was struggling with my sexuality and I was, there were a lot of people like me in DC, especially when I was working in politics. It was people didn't want to share that part of themselves with their professional world because of whatever reason, fear of, professional advancement, just not wanting to keep their personal and private life separate. But I was able to develop a really strong community of people where we would just like hang out at my house. Usually it was like the place where people would just come over, and I would have maybe like 10 to 15 people over, sometimes up to 50, depending on what it was going on. And for me, it was just that social space of, even if I didn't know everybody, just creating a space where like-minded people could come together and get to know each other, network.
Yes.
And I love it because I see it even still today, even though I'm not there anymore. These friend groups are still in existence. And like I said, I'm still finding that a little bit in Los Angeles. But my bringing the community together has always been based on just bringing cool, like-minded people into my universe of what I can provide, whether it's a game night, whether it's just cooking. Like my husband loves to cook too. We both love to cook. He's from South Carolina, so he'll do like
y'all eat.
He'll do his crab boils, all that stuff. He's great with shrimp and grits, and you know, I'll do my little bougie meals as he calls them. So
what's a bougie meal?
Let's see. I'll do I'm like the Sam. So our first date, actually, he always makes fun of me.
Let's talk about it
because he came over and I had this 4-course meal lined up. The first dish was like burrata with tomatoes and
so you went all out.
You must have liked that person. You must have liked him the first date.
He said, "What am I supposed to do with this big ball?" Because he didn't even know what it was. He was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
I was like, "It's burrata." It was just this big ball of cheese. And he was like, "Okay." But I eat out a lot, and when I don't eat, and when I do, I look at what I'm eating at restaurants. I'm like, "Ooh, I want to make that. I want to make that." Whereas his cooking is more so rooted in his Southern upbringing.
Okay.
Mine
That's
is
marvelous.
what I like to eat at restaurants.
Okay. Look, that's marvelous. That's what you do in your community. And I know that you'll accomplish that here and other places, because if you've done it there.
I need it, guys.
You'll get it.
Yeah, you've done it there, which proves you're capable of doing it anywhere, because that's an internal thing.
Yeah.
Like, as a light worker, that's what we do. We spread that message and that gospel of good news, and we have to continue doing that, because as we know, dismay is around all of us, but there's a balance. And because that's so prominent and that's so heavily in the news, the good news is not reported. There's not a station that you could turn on that has, today, someone just graduated from high school that dropped out in the 60s, whatever. I don't know.
That's true.
There isn't a platform that provides, that I am aware of, that's televised, provides good news daily. Something new that's not reruns, but it's in the community, on the ground, showing what's happening daily. Game night, whatever it is, scheduling things. Hey, y'all, here's a meetup spot. No matter what you may like, we could really benefit from having more of those platforms and spaces, even such as this one, that shows we're not afraid to talk about taboo topics, not afraid to get dirty. What needs to be said, and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
I brought that around because when you mentioned about like the people, that the group, the circle, that was a bit more challenging and dicey, to let them know, and how my brother stood up for me. I had straight friends that was like, "Oh, you probably want me." And I was like, well, to be quite frank, no, never did. And if I did, I could have, but I didn't want to anyway. Yeah. It was for me telling my father, because in my mind, I'm like, yo, that's king. And I have to make sure that the way things go with us, I want him in my life too. So he was the reason, the reason he was the last one is because I've been thinking about it. Like, okay, I done dated some guys and all that, and I really want to tell him I'm ready now. Here we go. And when I actually told him, and it was just like, okay. I said,
it was a weightlifter, right?
I was like, yeah, like, what do you mean? Okay. Like, is there more? Like, the phone hang up? You know?
Why is it, and I've noticed that it's a trend, why is it, or why do you feel that straight men feel so, I guess, offended? I don't know if that's the correct word. I want to say offended, and sometimes afraid to even be affiliated with gay men. In particular, I've noticed it in the black community.
I disagree with that.
They are just as afraid of that label as we are, right?
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, my straight friends to today, they get asked like, "Wait, are you gay?" If they're hanging, it's like, what y'all doing?
Question marks. Question marks.
I brought that up to you because myself, even going out with my friends, we would go out, and let's just say if someone comes around who likes what they like, if they like men, or if it's a woman and she likes a woman, there's always someone in the group that'll say, I can't be seen with that person. I can't be affiliated. And I'm very curious. So I'll ask you.
Oh, are you? That's crazy. right.
Into that. He walked in.
He did like this. This is what I got to go through with him.
Cutting up.
I couldn't resist. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm going to get you. Okay.
Wait a minute. That sounds crazy. Go ahead. Right. As you were.
So I asked the question, well, like, because I'm friendly with everybody. I'm like, I don't care who you are, what you like, what you do. Like, if I love you, I love you. As long as you ain't did nothing to me, we good. But I've been in groups with friends where they will say, I can't be affiliated with certain people who like, if you want to be friends with somebody that's gay or bisexual or confused, I don't want to be around you and them because I'm going to look a certain type of a way, or people are going to ask me, am I with them, or are we this, or are we that? And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, if you're strong in who you are, why does that really matter?
And that's the point. If you are strong in who you are, because you have so many people who you don't know what the internal struggle that they're dealing with. I will give you an example. My sister dated a man who she was dating him. And she told me at one point, she brought him over to my house. He had, he's there. I'm entertaining him with me and my now husband, but my boyfriend at the time. We're sitting up there at the table. She tells me after they leave, he tells her, I don't know that I can be around your brother anymore. I don't really know about that gay stuff.
Yeah, that's very common.
And this is a man that's dating my sister.
Very common.
She cut it off, but like you can only imagine the internal issues that he got to be dealing with, that he can't even be around a woman he's interested in, gay brother and his boyfriend.
That goes into your insecurities about yourself.
Correct. And that's why I learned early on, when I started my journey of coming out and telling people who I was, you have to just be confident in yourself. And that's such an important part of the journey, and have your tools to getting you there, because people are going to do things and act ways that are completely outside of you that you'll never be able to control.
Yep.
Okay. So I spent most of my time in a lot of locker rooms. My entire life has been sports, including now I'm a professional fighter. So from that aspect, and I do want you guys' thoughts on this, right? We constantly go back and forth with each other. Athletes are known to say some of the most homophobic things, right? And be like, hey, that's gay. It will stop being gay. This, that, and that. But in a sense, and again, I want your thought on this. None of us really mean it in a malicious way. I've known a few athletes who actually have gay brothers or their sisters are lesbians, but they don't mean it in a malicious way. And I've also had friends who were called gay, got upset, and then we would start railing him like, wait, why'd you get upset if you're not gay then, bruh? And then he would say, because he used it as an insult. So that's what I'm trying to, it's all about perspective. Because seeing you guys' perspective is just like, nah, you know what I mean? You see it as an insult. You're doing certain things towards me. While from my perspective, it's just like, these guys, they're just telling jokes, but I wouldn't know how that hurtful it feels, because if it was, let's say, race, and they were doing that to me, I would be hurt regardless.
Correct.
So I see where you guys are coming from, but I want to hear your thoughts on that, because again, I spent a lot of times we call what
Me
they
too.
say,
Like,
locker
I played
room
track,
thoughts.
football,
like,
basketball,
stop
all
being
of
gay.
it.
Pause. Stop being gay. But that's gay. So it's constant, even now to this day.
Yeah.
It's constant. So I want to hear both of your thoughts, honestly.
I mean, when I was younger, I used to participate in it and go along with it. Where I am now, I correct it, because at the end of the day, regardless of your intent, whether it's malicious, joking, or whatever, you're using it as an insult. You're using it, in a negative connotation, which that is having an impact on somebody who is gay.
Okay.
Like you said, you felt it when they talk about race.
Yes.
Like, I'm not, when you're putting someone down, you're putting someone down. And that's creating trauma. That's creating unnecessary trauma in somebody else. And like where I am now, I used to be too afraid to stand up or just wanted to go along with it because I didn't want to be just found out or discovered. Yeah. But I think it's so important to correct it, because you're inherently othering people, and nobody wants to be othered, including the people who are throwing those jabs.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with Greg as well, because those spaces that are navigated with that type of language, depending on your relationship with those people. If your relationship is that you work, exercise, or your lifestyle is based around these people as well, okay, that's how you joke. Now, if there's someone else in the mix that doesn't joke like that, once again, it needs to and should be checked, whether it goes left or it goes right. Standing up for yourself and saying what you have to say is going to be the most valuable thing you do for yourself. Because if you don't have that, I teach my students, if you don't respect yourself, you're not going to gain it from any other source, because that starts, it's inward and outward. Like you got to respect yourself. If you allow it, that's one thing. if you check it and you do whatever you got to do and it still goes sideways, okay. But if you allow it and you say nothing and you mask in it,
Yeah.
and you're silent, that's a whole nother battle. And so many people deal with depression and other things as well. It's like, just because it's a joke to you in the locker room, to that person, it may seem ha, 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 they laugh at it. But later on, they're still thinking about it.
Yes.
It's still on their mind.
It'll sit on you.
It sits on them because they're like, well, I don't know why they keep saying that. This could be somebody who gets ridiculed at home and you don't know that. This is somebody who gets ridiculed, bullied, or beat up on the way home. By the time they get home, their parents are like, well, what happened to you? You should go outside and fight back. It's a whole thing that transpires. But because you go back to your cozy nook and you guys make homophobic jokes, you don't realize the scope or the magnitude of what you're saying and the trail and the life that you're talking about or saying it. So it's also a mindfulness.
Okay.
Like, okay, it's a joke. We have fun. But if my relationship has been like, I just met you 2 months ago, I walked in on something, I'll be like, hey, I don't want to joke like that.
Yep.
And I let you know, but you still do it. It's like, all right, now you're blatantly and intentionally playing in my face.
And I think what we're talking about now is setting those boundaries for yourself.
There we go.
Like,
Yeah.
That's one of the, and that's whether it's, and that's across the board.
And that's like you said,
you got to know
before
yourself, know
versus
your
now.
feelings, and be able to communicate your boundaries. That's one of the best things I learned to do for my own mental health.
Yeah.
Is not being afraid or feeling like I was less than or feeling like I was being too much for communicating my boundaries to the people around me. Because any time that you shrink yourself and don't, you're taking yourself off your purpose and your path, in my opinion. But you are letting that stuff sit on you in a way that just becomes a distraction and a weight.
Yes.
But even as it pertains to black men in particular, we are conditioned at times to believe that you have to be masculine all the time. And the reason I say that is because myself, I've had people that will say to me, oh, you're weak, or you act like a bitch, or you're too sensitive.
Oh, you speaking French again? Oh.
He said that.
Wow.
I'm so passionate. You're
Right?
bitch.
Spit in my eye. Damn. Continue, AP.
My bad,
I'm just speaking
My
to
bad.
the people because the people want to know.
Need to know.
Yeah.
People need
Yeah,
to
that's
know.
true. That's true.
And even if they don't call you gay, they're still saying you're not the definition of what a man is. And we get that a lot in our community in particular.
Okay.
And I would say to people, so then what's the issue? Like, how does that affect you? Because I am who I am. If you think I'm sensitive, that's who I am.
Yeah.
If you think that I'm not hardcore, I don't need to be hardcore to prove a point to you. But then they'll say, well, that's kind of suspect. You know, like, are you out here fucking around? Are you out here doing this? I'm like, I'm just me at the end of the
But why does that even matter to them?
Correct.
Why?
Right, but
why?
I do have a rebuttal to this.
I wanted to let
please
me finish.
Yeah.
It also comes sometimes from your family.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know what I've noticed in households, or at least the ones that I've been a part of, my family included, is they'll say, I'm cool with gay people. I love gay people.
Yeah.
Until it hits home. And it's like, then when it hits home, they'll say,
That's true.
you know, what did I do? How did you end up like this? Did I not like, did I take you around the wrong person or the wrong things? And I would always say, the same way that you are who you are, expect people to be themselves, because that's all we can do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You can't force it on somebody else. But it's just weird to me because it does come from your family. And then sometimes people will run around and make rumors up about you and say, well, we got to toughen him up. Because he can't be around me acting like that.
I do.
And on the subject of masculinity, I think it's so toxic. I've had people say, oh, I'm cool with that. Just don't turn into a flamer. I am who I am, which is a super feminine man for people who don't know or something.
Right, educate.
Yeah, because I didn't know what that was. I was like, wait, what is that?
Short term, really.
Yeah.
But like, it's, for super feminine, man. And I'm like, I am who I am. I got masculine parts of me. I have feminine parts of me. And I think, honestly, I think we all do. Gay, straight, whatever. And that's why I think, I look at what's happening today. Some people don't like it. You got this bring back real men movement. Yeah. But I love what I'm seeing when you see people who are not openly gay, at least, doing things that are feminine. Like you look at, I'm trying to think of some, but what's A$AP Rocky, for example?
Okay.
His fashion choices. It's like, no, I am who I am. Like me putting on a woman's clothing because I like the way it makes me feel or like the way that it looks on me does not make me any less of a man or a father as he is now and a husband than any other person.
Okay, I do have something for that. In terms of history itself, the term, like Jamaicans hate the terms anything to do with feminism, like a guy meaning feminism, or just being called gay in general. But there's a history behind that, breaking the bull. Do you guys know what that is?
Educate me.
So basically, they would get the biggest and toughest black guy, the slave master. They would tell all the other slaves to come outside. They will beat him down. They will tie him up, and they would rape him in front of everybody. So in that sense, that's why I understand why it's not right, but in terms of survival, it has worked. There's no group of people that have survived than black folks. I mean, 400 years of slavery, a lot worse stuff in the Arab world, and also the most accepting group, to be honest, especially the Black American group. Because without the Black American group, an African boy like me ain't gonna be here. Let's be honest. And I always give props like that. But I understand where it comes from. And I don't think it's wrong. It should be changed, but not super villainized. The black man in America has constantly looked as the villain, and they constantly are afraid to look weak. When somebody looks weak, he gets taken over and beaten down. It has happened over and over again. I understand it. Yes, it's wrong. But when your dad or your uncle or your brother says, oh, stop being soft, stop being weak, I don't think he means like, don't show your emotion and all that. Like, yo, don't do that in front of people, because the stuff I went through, the trauma I went through, I don't want you to go through it, brother. You know what I mean? Like, you're wearing a Malcolm X shirt. You know, like every single one of us here knows what it's like to be black. Whether you're from Timbuktu, whether you're for a black British, or whether you're all the way from Australia, you know what it's like to be black. So in terms of that, I'm not really taking their side, but I do understand why a black man would tell his son, bro, stop being soft, man.
It's a fear.
It's a fear. It's
survival
a fear, man.
For the
It's
world.
a fear.
And that's why I said I know where it comes from.
Yeah.
I am just more so happy that it seems like society is turning.
It's
over
turning a little bit,
and
yeah.
we're able to just not lead with that fear.
Yes.
But to start becoming more of just who we genuinely are.
But then
You know what it could
also
be as well when
Yeah.
you put when you're able when you're grocery shopping
Yeah.
and you're moving around the aisles and things, when you have an idea as to what you're going to buy, when you get home, where do you put those items?
in your
Usually in the
fridge,
cabinet,
In a cabinet.
Yeah.
They have a place. So what society attempts to do,
It's put you,
Yeah.
but also
Yep.
it puts you in a
Especially
place, which is
America.
why if they're not able to understand or figure out where or what you want questions, right?
Yeah.
You're so.
You are going to be scrutinized, or going to question everything you do or fashion choice you may make, because they're like, are you that way? Are you not? It's like they want to put you in a group so they can at least have a reason or whatever it is,
Yep.
but to say like, all right, I know this about you. That's where you are. When they don't have it, that's when you get more chaos, more questions. Oh, you're soft. You're whatever. But if that's the case too, folks,
Yeah.
why aren't, if we're real men,
Yeah.
why aren't we being real men and having that discussion and breaking it down to say, hey, son,
Yeah.
I am not mad at you. I am not upset with you when I say this. I am unsure or upset at the situation, because a lot of the time when they say things to us like, you're soft, you're weak, whatever, we take it possibly as a attack to us.
Yes.
It's an attack to us. Like, dang, yo, you talking about me? I'm soft. When really they could mean, like Fode is saying, this situation I've seen play out before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You
Yes.
you may be
Yes.
you may be ill-equipped as to what may be about to come. So let's have this discussion. But that's not what happens.
So you're saying they want to nip it in the bud because they feel like because you're too feminine or too soft, they feel like you're on a trajectory of becoming who they don't want you to become.
And where society's going to place.
But
yeah.
there's another thing here. Here's another piece to that too. Society, I feel like, has depictions of what a gay man looks like. Here's the thing: when society says, "Oh, you're gay," they always equate it to you're feminine, you're sensitive, or as I said earlier, they deem you as you act like a.
You're not speaking French now.
You act. I don't want to keep using that word.
Right.
But then the question becomes, then what does gay look like?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a valid question. What does gay
And
look
I think
like?
it's literally different for every single person.
Yes.
You cannot put people in a box. I mean, I love what you said about society trying to place people, because it is true. And that's part of that fear that I think parents have, because I will say, even coming into the entertainment industry, I mean, it is blatant. And I was just shocked because, like, I would say I consider myself a little bit of a mutt in a sense of how I was raised and how I've been, you know, just the experiences that have made me who I am. You know, I told you, grew up in inner city schools originally when I was young. I went to white schools. I have straight friends. I have gay friends.
Mixing
I have gay
pot, right?
friends who are masculine. I got gay friends who are feminine.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable in all of it. And I may have different sides of me that present in
Yeah.
different settings. And all of them are me. But I can tell coming into this industry, it's like, well, what role are you? Who are you? What can you play? And I'm like, well, I'm expansive. I can do a lot. But it's like, no. Who are you? You with the femmes today? Oh, you one of them, huh? Oh,
So they
you
try
with
to
the So you
marginalize.
faking now. You a masculine
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
They try and put you in a bucket.
yes.
And like you said,
Yep.
society wants to place you and say, this is where you're going.
Exactly.
And not
Yep.
just allowing us to be.
Exactly. Just be.
Do you guys have? I have this one. Do you guys have friends like your upbringing is very similar to mine? Super suburban. I have friends who are conservative. I have friends who are liberal. I have white, black. I like keeping an entire rainbow in a sense. But I do have certain friends. Like I have European friends who very much so would be like, hey, I don't like this, and that. And it's not about like, oh, gay people. Oh, they were just like not a certain group of people. Would you still be friends with that person if they say, oh, I don't like, okay, it's a perfect example of, oh, you the good type of black person, if you understand what that means. Or,
Yeah,
I like you. You're my friend, even though you're gay. Does that make sense?
The older I get, the less that stuff sits right on my spirit. I can't do it.
But you have
I don't
seen
know
people
if-
like that.
I've seen it, and I
Seen it,
even
yeah.
see it within the gay community.
Yeah.
Where, like some of my masculine gay friends will
Yeah.
make fun of my feminine gay friends, and I'm
Okay.
like, that. Excuse me, I was about to go French on you.
Yeah.
Like that ain't
French
cool.
today, I
It
guess,
ain't
right?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just not cool, and it doesn't sit right on my spirit, and I end up either getting
Getting rid of
looked at funny because I correct it, or I just
Okay.
get real quiet.
But you are
like,
setting
separate
boundaries,
myself.
Greg.
Correct.
You're setting boundaries, and if those entities deem it necessary and appropriate to choose, because it's a choice, to say, be, and act as if they're going to do it, let them.
Yep.
Because
And
once
that's
again,
what I've learned.
let them. And
it's a
anytime I
painful
do
process
anything,
having to let go of some people,
Let
but it's
them.
like it
Yeah.
ain't me, it's you. And if it is me, it is who I am.
let them.
And when we see, because I want to make sure I understood what you were saying, like when we see how a person would treat someone, meaning like I don't want to be friends with this person because
Yeah.
they're this way. We do look at that person's side and we side eye them and go, well, I could be that way. So are you saying if I'm that way, you wouldn't want to be my friend too?
Exactly.
It makes you see a person differently, and then your morals and your values, they don't connect.
Yeah.
And then that's where the disconnect begins. So if I see someone, like I have friends in different friend groups, but if I see friends and they're just like, I don't like gay people, then it kind of makes me go, I don't feel like this friendship is going to last too long, because I'm cool with everybody. And I'm like,
Interesting.
because you don't like somebody, that means that if I say today I don't like chicken,
Yeah.
you can be like, well, I like chicken. So because you don't like chicken, that's a problem. I know that's it.
So AP, would that become a narrow-minded situation? And that once again goes into your circle, because your network and your circle is still attached to your wealth, right? Or
yes.
no? Correct. Not right or wrong, because there's no right or wrong. There's correct or incorrect, depending on the person. Subjective.
But no, that's a valid point though.
So if you have people in your circle that are like, well, I don't like this, I don't like that. I'm gonna use this example.
Yeah.
We pretty much, a lot of us, if not all of us, has at least one or two friends. We have to question if we could take them certain places because they either gonna turn up.
Absolutely.
And you be like, all right, everybody's invited to the party, and that one you're like, I skip their names for the invitation because you're like, yo, this person, they're gonna get buck wild, and I'm not sure how it's gonna go because they may not like my circle,
Yeah.
the people I'm around, or they pop off a little. So it's still a circle situation, and if that person is so narrow-minded to say, I don't like you because you don't eat chicken, I don't want to talk no more. You know what? Perfect. I love this for us because you've just allowed me, you've just shown me your hand as to what you will and won't do or how you will and won't bend or tolerate. That's your level of friendship and that's your level of expertise where you are. So if your spirit guides you to do that and you believe that's correct, then okay, we just don't align, and that's perfect, because now my journey as a train moving forward, I'm going to do like this, let you off at that stop, and I may not slow down. You get off, and then my train keep moving, and that's just how you have to learn to push it.
Okay,
But I actually, you said
Yeah.
something about your network being your wealth, and and that is very true, and it made me think it's a privilege to be able to cut people off that you don't like. And like maybe that's why I'm getting more
privilege,
and maybe that's why I'm getting more comfortable doing it, because I'm getting to more of a privileged place in my life.
Just joy.
But everybody can't do that.
They have to learn.
No,
it's attachment sometimes.
No, or even if it's your boss, or if it's somebody that can present you a good business opportunity.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna challenge
just
you on
sit there
that.
or a friend who is financing something for
Yeah.
you, or a family member who's like, you got to sit with some of that stuff, and it would be a privilege for you to be able to cut them off.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, if I cut them off, I lose this opportunity.
You lose this
I
opportunity.
lose access.
I lose
to
this
Yep.
network, which is
That's exactly what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
It's in terms of, again, I'm a huge collector of different cultures and people. Like, I really do want everybody around me. So for me, again, I have individuals who do not, like you say, you can't bring certain people to a party. I know a certain amount of my friends would be like, I can't bring Fode to this event, because if somebody says something, he's going to be honest. Or he simply doesn't like people enough for this to happen. He spends most of the time hiking or going to a museum. Yeah, he won't like this outgoing. He won't like stuff like this. So do you surround yourself with people? And I learned something like this when I was in Louisiana, a lot about the voodoo culture, about spirituality, and me and Keith talk about it all the time. Even though the energy is not right, do you still keep around people to simply learn from their experience in life? Because people are so different from a different aspect, whether it's the Russians, if they're Africans, because a lot of Africans might, especially Central Nigeria and certain places like that, might not accept LGBT. A lot of the cities do, because, the Western world, that black community is connected. But I'm just saying in general, since things have changed, but not as much, but it's because of their cultures, it's because of their viewpoints. But do you keep them around, even though sometimes they're nasty, to change? So you take the brute force of it, but in the long run, you're so kind to somebody. Like all of us, we know who Jesus is. He used kindness to simply change a human being. Do you stay there? Do you change their mind? Because their experience is probably pain, fear, and so on and so forth. So they're going to mistreat you. But do you stay there and then you're like, okay, he's calling me a bunch of stuff, but at the end of the day, if I stay there, treat him kindly, he will change? Or do you just say, energy don't match, bruh, keep it pushing, I'll find somebody who loves me?
What is the solution?
I want to. I want to piggyback off of that and say, we have to get to a point, place, and time in life where we teach people how to treat us. So at the end of the day, it's like someone said to me recently, I talk to everybody like this, like I'm always yelling, and I said, but I didn't give you permission to speak to me that way. I don't care how you talk to Joe right here, Brenda across the street. I didn't give you permission to speak to me that way because I don't allow people to treat me any kind of way. So you have to get to a point and place in your life
demand respect.
Not you demand it, but you set the boundaries. And we can't. If you keep condoning certain things, then not only are you turning a blind eye, but you are also a part of the problem. You notice how we say we want change, and you wish to be the change that you want to see in the world. Well, sometimes you gotta suck up. You gotta swallow your pride on certain things and say, you know what? I got to speak up. I can't keep on swallowing my pride and allowing you to say and or do what you deem as acceptable. It's no longer acceptable. And the minute that you stand on business, as we like to say, then people will look at you and they'll value you differently. And if they don't, that's okay too.
What AP just said, one moment, Greg, and I'm gonna, because I wanted to address what you said too. What AP just said, I agree that making sure demanding respect, that's very forceful. Carry yourself with dignity, integrity, and respect. It'll come. A river continues to flow, and what happens when you put a rock down in the water? Just like a river, I'm going around it. I'm not demanding anything because by nature, by spirit, it's already mine. I'm not demanding it. But what I'm going to do is continue to show that kindness and compassion and be harmony to let you know that that's real. And then once I cut you off and you know that that was real, and whatever vibration that you're feeling that is on the downward decline, you'll see that that's real too. and you'll know what real looks like because real recognizes real.
I
Now, when it comes to the position of being in the company of others that may speak to you a certain way or may carry a certain energy and connotation even, it's like, okay, to a certain degree, be coachable. Always be the student. You know, and it's great to be coachable.
Yeah.
At some point you will become the master, but do not stop learning. So if that person is ill-equipped to work on a solution and changing their brain pattern, then we have a disconnect.
Okay.
If you don't do a disconnect in your circle, if a dis is already not something that's great, why would you want that? So it's like a relationship, even if it's a misunderstanding or whatever it is, what are we learning? What is the solution? You can be from anywhere in the world and be like, I don't want to hang out with them because of X, Y, and Z or whatever it is. But like, are you here because you want to learn from that? Are you here and you're my friend because you want to this? You don't want to go in that circle and talk to this person because they challenge you on certain subjects?
Yeah.
Is it that you feel inferior or whatever it is because you're around this person? Let's really talk about it, because it may be a situation to where as though it's inner, and you just have to learn how to navigate. You haven't gotten to that stage in life to seek and find. You are still at that part where you're seeking, and you've been around so many people that may have told you, hurt you, or done things that are wrong to you, and now you're taking it on everybody else.
Ooh.
So now you're looking at.
I've been there before too.
Yeah.
So now,
I moved through it.
right. So now it's like
real.
you look at things differently because once you were bullied, you become the bully unintentionally and unconsciously, and now you take it out on other people. So you're like, man, bro, that's gay. I don't do that. I don't eat chicken, and if you eat chicken, I don't like you neither.
What we have to stop doing is we can't, although we have been hurt, and I get it. Sometimes we look at it like, well, I've been through this, so that's why I'm doing that. We have to get to a point where we got to stop bleeding on people who didn't cut us.
Easier said
You got to
than
learn
done.
how to protect yourself. And
Yes.
you know, we
that
talked
part.
about like how could you cut people off and how do you set those boundaries.
Yes.
One of my best friends offered me, and I was so appreciative of it, the concept of treating your relationships like a building with an elevator.
Yes.
And everybody has a level. And when I started doing that, my boundaries got so much stronger, clearer, and better, because it's like, okay, I'm not going to cut you off, but it's like, okay, I know that you're the friend that can be around when I have 15 people over, but you're not at the level anymore of where I can allow you to be around me one-on-one. Or, you know, where we're just going to be hanging out like that because you make me feel this way or you've done this, and that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay. I'm not going to cut you off. I'm going to love you from a distance. I'm going to, maybe you will get to that level one day. Maybe I'll look up and say, oh, you've completely changed. And that's really helped me navigate some tough relationships.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes people get knocked back down. Hey, okay, you're back on the lobby. And I
that's
think
okay.
that has really helped me in my boundaries and managing relationships and being like, okay, this is where you are for now. And it's not permanent, it's not forever, but it's what I got to do for me.
Exactly. And like you said, that elevator concept, so very true. But what happens is sometimes we get in this mindset that we have to hold on to these beings forever.
True.
And it's like, well, no, because one, yes, nothing truly may last forever in that state of mind, but it's all in your mind. If you are willing to unlock your mind and say, you know, dang, I may have been a bit harsh towards AP when I said what I said. Let me actually work on correcting this. There isn't, with men, it's like, yo, you gonna get with it. You gonna be all right. You'll be fine. Suck it up, buttercup. And it's like, actually, let's talk about it. You want to talk about it? I ain't talking about it. And it depends. Like, it can get real dicey, you know? So it's like, we should make sure, like you're saying, AP, work on, and like you said too, Greg, establishing that one boundary and communication correctly, but think about things a bit differently. It's an elevator. That's why I said it's a train. I'm moving this way. It's an elevator. And you are letting folks off. You know, you're setting boundaries and you're moving forward. I respect that.
Sometimes, with that being said, we get to a place where some people are unwilling to grow. Some people are unwilling to learn. Some people want to be stuck where they are. At the end of the day, you have to meet people where they are. But what happens is when I meet you where you are, it changes again the trajectory of where we're going to go. So if you say to me, well, I feel like you don't come around as often or you don't talk to me, you have to look at the fact that I'm constantly on a pathway of growth. You want to be where you are. You want to be mean. You want to be angry. You want to be bitter. You want to fight. I no longer have the energy for that. I'm going to meet you where you are, but just know that I'm not going to stay where you are. So I think that sometimes when people say certain things, we just got to be honest and be like, yeah, I'll meet you where you are, but it's going to change the dynamic.
In addition to that, being a gay gentleman, when I navigate certain spaces or certain places, sometimes it's the unwillingness that I have to navigate around.
Yeah.
And excuse me, I don't have to do anything, that I choose to navigate around because of, like you said, the circles or the connections and things that I have going. I say, okay, sure, no problem. We'll make it work. But that's also a lesson for me to say, you know what, moving forward, this is going to be in place of this. This is going to be in place of this. Not because my feelings got hurt, but because I'm setting that boundary for me, whether it's personally or professionally. So moving forward, this is the way it should go, and this is how it has to be. But once again, that's that concept, letting folks off, knowing where you stand, knowing what to do when things get dicey or not.
First off, I want to say a lot of stuff you guys have said, sorry, it's terrible English, has been...
Why is that?
Mind-opening in terms of, again, I didn't know. I don't know. And I'm glad, like certain places that I grew up in or I live now, that you guys have found comfort. Because in the end of the day, I do not know the experience that you've gone through, but I do know the experience of being looked down upon. So that I'm very happy, especially like the DC area, that you actually found a bit of happiness, that you're now in LA and you are about to find happiness, that I'm next to gentlemen like these guys that
Gentlemen?
for this episode at least.
You said gay gentleman earlier. That's what I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, right.
These gentlemen here though are simply like, really, you know what I mean? They're free. Their mind is open. They're happy to be friends with me and they teach me certain different things that I simply would not have known without them. And as well as Sierra Leone, if you ever, I'm always out there preaching because I'm from that region. I grew up here. But if Freetown, the name it's in itself, Freetown, they have their own, we're not rich people. They're very poor, but they have a lot of kindness. They're very kind people. They treat everybody really great. I think if you guys will ever take the trip down there, you will enjoy it. Go spend your money. They love partying, nothing else.
Sign me up.
But they love partying and food. They are very beautiful people. I know a certain place like Accra, Ghana, very kind. Most of the,
I've been to Accra before.
Yeah, please, I would say go visit West Africa. The stigma is there, but the people are so sweet and kind. And I, again, thank you guys for sharing your experience. It's not really an easy thing to do, and I'm very grateful. Very grateful.
You're welcome. Greg, I want to ask you, I know we've spoken about a variety of things. How's marriage life been for you?
It's been good. You know, we've been together for 10 years, so coming up on 10. Thank you. It's been good. I think for me, just the, like I said, we've been together for 10 years, so we have been almost like an old married couple for a long time, but the excitement of marriage is like, okay, that's a milestone that's leading us into our official family life. So it's like now it's like the next steps are expand into a house. We both want to have children, so that's on the board. And that's one of the main reasons we got married is the security of our family, and making sure that we had that in place before we started taking the steps of kids and stuff. So it's been good. It's just starting that planning process and stepping into the dreams we've had for a long time for each other has been special.
Do you want a big family?
No, we want one or two.
Just one or two?
No, we want one or two.
We still like to travel. We still like to do what we like to do, and one or two is going to allow us to keep doing that stuff because I ain't trying to be stuck at home. And
right
now,
no. The grass grows where.
You can still have a village. I mean, look at the Kardashians.
Jesus.
Maybe
I'd
or
rather look
don't
at their
look.
bank account than look.
Oh, well, yeah, I want their bank account.
Because that's what I would need to have. That's what I would need to have.
Listen, I want the bank account.
Greg,
too.
I want the bank.
I wanted to ask you,
especially in this economy. And it's one or two. One or two.
Greg, I wanted to ask you, how rewarding is it at this point in your life and even career? How rewarding is it when you look at where you are now versus where you were?
I'll say this. Like, I am at a place where I'm pivoting a bit. I was in politics for a long time, and I'm breaking into entertainment, which has been a struggle for me. It's been a fight, as it is for every entertainer trying to get their art out into the world. And so it's a little bit of a reset. It's a little bit of a backtrack. But I'll say, even though it feels that way, maybe professionally and financially at times, the reward is in living in my truth and living in my dream of who I really am. And this is the most I've ever done that at any point in my life. And so even though I may not have, everything I've had throughout my life because I'm recalibrating a bit into a new industry, just being able to really be the most authentic version of myself, it trumps all of that.
And you're showing there are men in particular that are watching this, younger men, and you're helping them to navigate through their journey.
Yeah.
So you got to give yourself a pat on the back.
I mean, look, all of us do, because the stuff that we talk about on this podcast, the stuff that I've seen you all do, it's really leading people towards that path of just being themselves. And I think that's just so important. And taking care of themselves, like the health stuff, like everything.
Yes,
We appreciate that.
Cooking episode?
Yeah.
10 minutes something to cook.
Wait, can I come back for the cooking?
You can come back.
We're gonna yeah.
We should do one.
Yeah. We thinking about we're gonna cook.
Okay.
We're gonna figure out some logistics.
Keep me in on for that.
Yeah.
We're gonna send you the menu.
Okay.
And see what you can whip out.
Wait, what's your favorite restaurant in DC? Since we DC folks here.
Absolutely not. Philly. Sorry.
Okay, you Philly.
Yeah.
You're not DC?
Yeah, DC.
Okay.
technically, Yeah.
I'm PG County, but that's
Here we go.
Oh, that's DMV. Well, listen, I'm trying. Still DMV. I recently went to, I believe it's Kitchen and Cocktails.
Okay, I haven't heard of it. Wait, where's that?
That's right down by K Street. I think it's on K Street.
Okay, I haven't been there before.
The food was good. Black owned.
Okay.
It was good food. Great quality of service.
Okay.
I heard Maestro's, I believe. I don't know if it's Maestro's or
Mastro's, that's my favorite steakhouse. They
bet.
got them out here too. They got one down the road here. If you
Really?
want to go, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, bad.
Somebody was just talking to me about that recently, a few weeks ago in DC, and it was like, "You gotta check it out." Yeah, so.
Come with your checkbook though.
Oh, did they?
That's fine.
They didn't tell me about that
that's
part,
fine.
Greg. They didn't.
Oh, I bet they didn't.
Swahili.
Mastro's ain't nothing to play
You
with.
been to Swahili Village?
That's what I was going to
That
say.
is the
There we
favorite
go.
restaurant. Yeah.
No.
Greg,
That's what I know. I missed that.
Yeah,
I
they
missed
set
Swahili
me up with
Village.
just Swahili Village.
It was the food
They
was
did not tell me the
amazing.
food
Come
was
on.
that spicy.
It's
And that chicken they got, them chicken wings,
AP,
Thank
AP, look at the glisten in their eyes right now. They're like children.
if you like African food in the
Swahili
DC area,
Village.
Swahili
It was too
Village,
spicy for
please.
me.
I
we
agree.
did not get paid to say this.
Yes.
This was real.
Nah,
This
yeah, it's
Free
so good.
promotion.
Yes,
Promotion.
so good.
But if you want to
I
sponsor
actually-
us,
Right. I actually agree
hit
with
us up,
them.
get us
Yeah.
Swahili Village.
We
yes.
can all go. Yes.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
yeah. What's next for you, Greg?
I got some projects out now, actually. Like I said, continuing to break into entertainment and acting. I got a project on BET Plus right now that I'm really excited about. Thank you. Because it's called Fighting to Be Me, the Dwayne Curry story.
Yeah.
I love the title.
And it's a true crime biopic about a woman named Dwayne Curry. She was born, a man, but it kind of tracks her journey towards becoming the most authentic version of herself. And we see her struggle with that, first coming out as a gay man to her family, but struggling with addiction and issues associated with the shame of who she truly was. And you see by the end of the movie, when she's able to just be herself and transition into the woman that she is today, that her life really changed for the better. And it's cool. I say true crime because it does track her story. She stole like $10 million tax scams and stuff. I don't know if that's the exact number, but so it's a good movie because it shows her doing all of that, like scamming, getting rich, getting caught, going to jail, coming back out and being herself. So that's on BET Plus. And then I'm also pitching a reality project, a reality docuseries about my husband Elliot and I's life together. So
We talked a little bit about reality TV behind the scenes. I want to ask you if you would like to speak on it. Is reality television what we see?
Okay.
It can be. I think every production is a little different, right? I will speak for ours. We did a show called Mathis Family Matters.
Yeah.
And for the most part, it was authentic. You know, the one difficult part for me is that it's almost like you have to time your life out because they want to catch everything on camera, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So you're only,
okay.
you're not filming, at least not on our production. You're not filming 24/7. So it would be like, oh, something important happened in my life. I need to have a conversation with my mom or dad or my brother or my husband about this.
Yes.
And they'd be like, wait. Don't tell them. We need you to wait till we get the camera set and you got to tell them this. So it's like you're pacing out important moments of your life. Like I'm in bed next to my husband. Like I can't tell him about this because the producers want me to wait till we film tomorrow to talk about it.
Is that deep?
Is that deep? And like, so stuff like that will happen. And every now and then, you know, they'll kind of, if they don't catch something that's said, they'll have you retrack it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think it's authentic and they try and be true to the characters that are on there, on our show at least.
On your show?
But that was a family show. And we were like, look, we are family and we actually like each other.
Wholesome.
Y'all not about to.
Y'all better treat us right. Because
Right.
we all talking about y'all and y'all don't
Right.
play this game with us.
Y'all-
So it's a little different.
You know how production can be.
Yeah.
You're a producer.
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to get nobody in trouble, but they tried it a couple of times. But we were able
Don't let
to
it
have
try
a good
it.
experience.
Right. Boundaries.
Found it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Learned that quick on the reality TV production.
And I understand too that you would like to do a runway show at some point.
I've been, you know.
Really?
Yeah. you
Hey, if
wanna-
I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it all. You know, acting.
I'm spilling a little bit of tea, but
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Y'all can hook me up, right?
we got you.
Wipe
yeah.
the tears.
New York Fashion Week, LA Fashion Week, designers out
We got.
there.
You
I'm on
heard it here first.
Miami Swim Week.
my
Let's work.
Swim Week.
Let's work.
We got you.
Let's work.
Yes, please.
Let's work. Now you said that, Greg.
I don't say stuff. When I was on a podcast, one of my buddies about a year and a half ago, Archie J. I don't know if you all follow him at all, but I told him I was like, I'm about to be an actor.
Yeah.
And I was like, and here I am a year and a half later, I'm doing exactly what I said I was going to do. So
As you should.
When I fix my focus on something, it
Yeah.
usually gets done.
Do it.
As you should, because it starts up here.
And life is short, man. You got to live in your
Yes, it
purpose.
is.
And, you
Your
know,
purpose
go
is your
all in.
piece.
Correct.
All right. Remember you said that runway show, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to remember that. That's what I
you
do.
got me on my phone like, Greg, where's this runway show?
I am going to be on your neck.
I got to practice my walk.
Oh, we got you with that too.
We do.
We gonna study.
Okay, send me some tapes and I'll practice my walk.
Not some tapes.
I'm just saying.
VHS?
Send me who I should watch. I don't know who the best male fashion walkers are. It's
I always say Tyson Beckford.
Tyson Beckford. Okay,
Yeah,
I've seen the young one, Jules, doing his thing. Isn't that his name?
That's Solange's
Probably.
son, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Solange. Yeah, he is doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's
I
doing
saw his
amazing
walk. I
things.
was like, okay,
shout out
I
to
like
Jules.
that.
Yeah. Seen some resources
Okay.
and get you in contact with the correct people and
Can I
all
start
that.
with print though?
If you'd like to.
If you
like, wait, we're going to
whatever
talk.
you want to do.
We're going to talk. We're gonna talk.
Runway. I got to get that walk together.
we got you,
Runway.
Greg.
Runway.
We got you.
I'm telling you, it's very
I can just sit here and look cute.
exact and get paid.
But
Runway, you got to have that walk.
Get paid.
together.
we gonna get you together.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
worry.
Because they'll chew you up.
Yep.
I'm one of the ones that'll chew people up on the runway.
One thing I would never do is walk a house. Let me never say never. They're gonna throw me in one. I was gonna say walk a house ball because that's where they really chew you up.
Before we end, Greg, I want to say first and foremost, thank you for coming on to our platform to share your journey. It's been not only inspiring but insightful. I'm grateful for the privilege of learning things that I didn't know and things that I need to know. Is there anything that you want to leave with our audience as we exit the interview?
Y'all do what y'all need to do to support these crew. They have the best energy of probably any podcast I've been on or anything I've been
you.
on. I'm excited more so to see what y'all are going to do and where this goes and where your audience continues to go as they follow y'all, because this has really been a good experience and I love the work y'all are doing.
Thank you for that. And thank you. It's been an honor having you
Yes.
on our side as well. And you know what? We're climbing together.
Yes.
You have our information, we have yours.
Yes.
As resources, I'm in the business of building together.
Yes.
That's big.
And I love what you said about light work too. Y'all are light workers. Y'all are spreading light throughout a world that really, really
And
needs.
as are you. And that's why the alignment is where it is. That's why we are where we are. That's why the beach is where it is right behind us. And we're filming here in Malibu. It's
Man,
because
I'm telling you,
it's because
I
the
hope
alignment.
y'all can hear you probably can't, but this is therapeutic. That's what I'm saying.
It is.
Here,
Yeah,
just-
it is.
It's alignment. So thank you for your contribution as well.
Thank
And
you.
you know you welcome back anytime.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. And we're gonna see you New York
Yeah.
Fashion Week.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
gonna commit to if they will have me.
I'm not sure what if is.
they'll
You
have
mean
me.
when?
We don't say if,
When they will have.
Let's shake on that. You know
When
what I'm
they
saying?
will
When
have.
yeah.
Look, I'm ready.
Right.
So with that being said, thank you again. You're welcome anytime. And I would like to say to everyone, love people. Let's love and accept people for who they are and where they are. Even if we don't understand, let's not listen to always respond. Let's listen to understand, because that's how you learn. And you said something earlier about the church that really resonated with me. Is the church is a place where we're supposed to go, where we feel safe and accepted
And loved.
and loved. And oftentimes we don't. We have to stop. And I don't want to say we. I'm just going to direct it to whoever it needs to be directed to. Stop having a heart full of hate and a mouth full of scripture. Practice what you preach.
Yes, sir.
Love and accept people for who they are. And if you want to know something, ask the question and don't pass judgment on anyone. And with that being said, we out, y'all.
We out.
We out. Appreciate you for coming.
Thank you.